Okay.
We're here at Mitten Muay Thai 02, second Muay Thai event in Michigan's history. We got UFC veteran Austin Tweedy, the Flash. It's an honor to be able to speak with someone who, UFC veteran.
Dana White's Contender Series, close enough, right? Close enough, yeah.
How did that process go, if you don't mind talking about it?
For the Contender Series?
Yeah.
I'll give you a little background to it. It's an interview. So, you know, so I signed with First Round Management, right? I don't even know what year, maybe 2016, 2017. So within 24 hours of signing with him, I got a call to fight UFC London against Stevie Ray. Okay, so I was like, you know, super pumped, you know, panicking. I'm getting calls all throughout the middle of the night. Of course, didn't have my passport. I, you know, negotiated, tried to let him drive to Chicago and get it right then. Passed me up, so I'm devastated about that. Shortly after that, I got in a car wreck at work. So I got smashed in an intersection. Somebody ran a red light, flipped our truck over, broke my back, fractured it. So 6 months after that, I fought on Dana White's Contender Series. So it wasn't the most ideal circumstances. And then going into that fight, man, I hate to even like make excuses, but like I said, I've battled with an autoimmune disease like that for years. Felt just fucking so lethargic, tired going into that fight. Really thought I was gonna pull it together, man. In that Dana White fight, made a hesitation, and you're at a world level there. You cannot fuck up. I got caught, knocked on my ass, and they stopped it. I was rocked pretty good. It was what it was. But from there, came back, fought at WXC here in Detroit, knocked out David Putman. He's a super tough guy, ranked above me nationally. And then, yeah, I had a couple fights after that. Year and a half break for this one. Yeah. Here we are. So did you get to talk to Danny yourself at all, or was it your mom? Oh, yeah. So, man, I literally turned a corner and ran straight into him at the UFC Performance Institute. And another time, so this is like weigh-ins are early day there. You know what I mean? You get to weigh in the morning, and then you got the rest of the time. So I'm in there. I weighed in. I'm feeling great the day before the fight. That's the craziest part. I was feeling so good. I'm in there training at the Performance Institute. I saw somebody out of the corner of my eye walk up and watching, and I'm not thinking nothing about it. We're going and going. And then all of a sudden, like a whole crowd walked in, and I looked back, and Dana White's been sitting there just watching me for 5 minutes, like, hey, your boy looks really good to my guys. So that, you know, got me pumped up. That was a cool experience, living the dream out there, man. Wish I would have appreciated it more, but I was feeling just so drugged down. But no, awesome experience. I would love to get back there. I gotta work hard. Gotta have a better performance than that I just had. But a win's a start. You know what I mean? Sure.
Do you regret your decision taking the shot at the UFC, or?
No, you have to, man. You have to, no matter what. Like, even for that fight I told you with the Stevie Ray, was I ready for that? Absolutely not. But, I mean, as you can see, I go in there and leave it all on the line every fucking time. You know, it doesn't matter.
If you had the choice to do Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter, which would you choose?
Probably the Contender Series. I was an alternate for the Ultimate Fighter with Uriah Faber and Conor McGregor.
Okay, yeah.
So they had the overseas edition there. So you had 400 people from all over the world. I made the cut of 32, and then so I got to stay in Vegas that week. And as the week goes down, they dwindle it down to 16. I was number 17. I really just had a boring interview for the last one, I think, so it kind of cut me out. It was like between me and Vincent Henderson's training partner. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh shit, like the whole week I'm staying there, I'm like, man, I made it, but I don't know if I really want to go into that house for 6 weeks under, you know, a microscope. So going on Dana White's Contender Series was cool. It was so quiet though. There was no crowd. It just didn't feel like a real fight to me almost. You know what I mean? It was just a weird, awkward feeling. But no, definitely the Contender Series or a last-minute replacement would be my ideal way to get in.
Yeah, the Contender Series is probably an ideal way, because it's just a one-fight shot. And
and you almost feel like you have to get that knockout or the submission, and a lot of guys don't get to go, you know what I mean? So you kind of push harder, make a little bit, you know, you fight a little differently sometimes.
What's probably your biggest lesson learned throughout your entire UFC experience?
The biggest lesson, just really stay on a strict diet, a routine. Don't get off of that, you know what I mean? Like, there's times where I mess up, so I have to eat a pretty strict diet, having some autoimmune type of conditions. When I get off that, you know, I get reckless and start eating a bunch, and it takes so long for me to get back to a good place where I'm feeling consistently good. That was a big one. Just like this fight camp, man, I really didn't want to go down to 55 to kickbox. If it was an MMA fight, I would have. And I was probably close to 77 when I started this cut, man. And it about took me out of the game. This is one of the hardest ones I've done. I was just super good shape at like 75, 77 area. And I don't know if that played a huge part in my performance tonight, but I know it was there.
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward, what are your goals in combat sports?
MMA, we're getting back into MMA hard. I was supposed to fight Dakota Bush out in St. Louis, man, and I was getting ready for it. And I had some MMA gloves, and I was going back and forth wrestling MMA or to mitts, and cracked the tie pads with an awkward angle and broke this thumb.
Oh, wow.
You can see it's still pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
It pops every time. So that slowed me down from that. I was forced to get out of that. There was nothing I could do. But I knew I could still kickbox some, you know what I mean? It's all right now. I can get by, but if I had to hit it out there, it'd hurt. Getting this healed and then getting back to MMA is my main goal. Yeah,
because I know you're a grappler by trade. So what are you using Muay Thai for? Just practice, basically?
Yeah, it's fun, man. You know, they offered me a little money to come out here and play around with a tough, fun athlete. It was a great moment for me to cut back down to 155 because I have not cut to 55 in over 5 years. So it was great to see. Can I still cut down there and perform? That performance, you know, wasn't great. I may be going up to 65, 70. I know they have the 65 weight class in Canada and different places. I have a contract up in Unified in Canada, which is a big promotion. I hope they get it in the UFC eventually. But yeah, MMA is my go-to. I'm a lot better at Muay Thai than I showed tonight, but you know, here or there.
If bare knuckle boxing offered you a contract, would you do it?
Man, I'm just not ready for. Obviously, I'm a fighter. I fight anybody, but I feel like that's at the end when you're not worried about getting cut up. And if you look at these hands, they've been through hell already. I don't need to break these anymore. You know what I mean? And that's just a fast track to do that. So I know myself.
Was there a specific moment in your life that changed your perspective on training or fighting in general?
I don't know. I've always been a rowdy kid fighting my whole life growing up. I just loved it. You know what I mean? My older brother used to kick my ass. He's 5 years older. I fought his ass every day trying to beat him. Then I got into wrestling in middle school, man, and did really well at it. I was obsessed, you know. Tito Ortiz was my fucking hero back when I was a little bitty kid, you know what I mean? And I don't know, that was my guy, the first guy I watched really whoop some people's ass. And I was obsessed with it. I mean, even in high school, we were fighting and getting together, doing all the backyard shit. And then the moment I got to sign up, because Indiana wasn't sanctioned when I started fighting in 2010, I signed some paperwork, jumped right into the cage, and started going. I probably did 5 fights before I ever even got with an MMA gym. I did well, but you know, that's how I got to where I'm at.
If you could choose a superpower in Muay Thai, what would be the most effective?
In Muay Thai, landing every single knee I threw, I guess.
You could just perfectly place
I mean, every knee I throw is connected right on the chin. That's my superpower. Knock him the fuck out. I mean, I went for it. You saw the wheel kick at the end. I thought I put him out with that. He kind of fell limp on top of me for a second. I'm getting up, like, expecting him still, and he's getting back to his feet. I'm like, fuck, man. But that's where I said I'll throw everything in the fucking kitchen sink at him to try to get him out of there.
He's a tough kid, though.
Yeah, he is. He's fast.
Do you have a weight cut process? You were talking about how your weight cut was tough.
Man, it's, you know, like I said, my last 2 fights have been at like 65, 70. I followed a nutrition plan all the way through, but I'm such a lean guy. Like when I tell you I have like almost an 8-pack at 75, I did, and then I still went all the way down, and man, it was brutal. I don't know if I'll do it again unless I can get my walk around weight lower. But yeah.
This is a fight situation for you. 3 3-minute rounds, Muay Thai rules only. You versus a kangaroo. Who comes out of that? I do.
I'm gonna fucking teep kick that kangaroo right in the stomach, you know what I mean, until they can't take it. Over. And then a couple of them low leg kicks you just watched out there, buddy. Those will add up. Old boy ain't gonna be walking right for a couple weeks, and it just is what it is.
Kangaroo's got some powerful legs too. Double, just
right.
If you could choose any musician to walk out with you during a fight, who would you choose?
That's a tough one, man. I don't know, I'm kind of all over the place with music. You know, it's constantly changing. But I've been coming out to the fucking final countdown by Europe since I started. So I guess them, man, they've been following me out, singing right there. Okay, that'd be a cool one. And then your nickname, The Flash. Is there a story behind that? Yeah. So I went through a few nicknames. But The Flash stuck because I finished. If you look at my MMA record, I've got like a ton, 9 first-round finishes by submission within 2 minutes. So people started saying, "Oh, you're the Flash, you're the Flash." Every time I blinked my eyes, the fight's over like that. So that's where that really stuck and came from.
Yeah, that's a good story. that's it for me. I really appreciate you sitting down again.
No problem, man.
And again, it's an honor to talk to someone that has been around the UFC. And
yeah,
I'm just getting started in this whole sports media, fight media thing. So
yeah.
it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Yep.
Thank you for
sitting
down.
Man. Nice to meet you.